Good evening, you guys. Good evening. And welcome to 90 Days Through the Word. My name is Sonia McCullough Lockridge, and I joy to come to you in this fashion. Now, today is day 74 of 90 Days Through the Word. And today our reading found us in Luke chapter 10:1 through Luke 20:19. Now, this portion of the text appeared to be as if it was an easy read, but Luke has a lot of words. Luke has a whole lot of words. He uses words. He does not have a word budget. He has no word budget at all. And so it was a little bit more of a difficult reading than I thought it was going to be. Now, just to name some things that we read about today, I'm just going to go down a list of things and review them. And not everything, because there's a lot. There's a lot. But some of what we read was about Jesus sending out his disciples and the pool of disciples of 72 that's mentioned in this portion of the text as well. The divisions within the households, that's found in Luke 12. The condition and rewards of a disciple, which is found in Luke 14. The signs of the prophet Jonah and how they related to these current times from past times. The Lord Jesus mentioned the signs of the prophet Jonah in chapter 11. Jesus teaches in parables in chapter 13. And he also teaches in parables in another chapter as well. The parable of the barren fig tree in chapter 13. Jesus teaches about that. Being salt and salty in chapter 14, Jesus teaches us about being salt and salty. Luke 15, Jesus teaches about the parable of the lost sheep. The parable of the lost sheep. Forgiveness is taught in chapter 17 by Jesus. 70 times 7. And all that good stuff. How often we should forgive a brother. A lost coin and a lost son is in Luke 15. And so on and so forth. There was a lot of reading. Now, so many parables in Luke. Luke is just chock full of parables. So many. There are so many, it's really kind of hard to mention, but it would be easy to list them, but kind of hard to mention. So, I wanted to speak about something that I noticed in chapter 17 of the book of Luke. Chapter 17 of the book of Luke. I wanted to draw our attention today to verse 16. And this is when Jesus cleanses the 10 lepers. And I'm going to just start quickly in 11, but our focus verse is verse 16. On the way to Jerusalem, he was passing along Samaria and Galilee. As he entered the village, he was met by 10 lepers who stood at a distance and lifted up their voices, saying, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. When he saw them, he said to them, Go and show yourselves to the priest. And as they went, they were cleansed. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back. He turned back, praising God with a loud voice, and he fell on his face at Jesus' feet, giving him thanks. Now he was a Samaritan. which being a Samaritan meant he was a foreigner. Then Jesus answered, "Were not 10 cleansed? Where are the 9? Only one returned, and this was the one who fell on his face at Jesus' feet." Now, the reason why I noticed this is that this phrase is mentioned 2 other times in the text. Not in our reading of today, but 2 other times in the book of Luke. Namely, in Luke 8:35 and 8:41 are Jesus' feet mentioned. 8:35 and 8:41. 8:35 and 8:41. So I know it's going back a little bit, but I just wanted to draw our attention to Jesus' feet. Now, I may have talked about this one other day. I just realized that. But this is a really crucial point for me because I believe that we should stay praying at the feet of Jesus until forgiveness comes. Now, it starts in 8:34. When the herdsmen saw what had happened, they fled and told it in the city and in the country. Then people went out to see what happened, and they came to Jesus and found the man whom the demons had gone sitting at the feet of Jesus. Sitting at the feet of Jesus. And then in 41, and there came a man named Jairus, who was ruler of the synagogue, and falling at Jesus' feet, he implored him to come to his house. When we are praying for a thing, namely when we're praying rightly for a thing, we need to sit at the feet of Jesus in prayer and thanksgiving. This is what the text tells us these folks who had been delivered or were in the process of someone being delivered did. This is how miracles come to us. We sit constantly and continually at the feet of Jesus. Now, I don't mean that we don't do anything else, but our heart posture is that toward Jesus. Now, our heart can be postured toward Jesus when we're doing other things. But we always come back to that position of sitting at the feet of Jesus with a thing in prayer and supplication. And so I just wanted to draw our attention to that tonight because I believe it is a very serious lesson for us to learn from the text. This is something that we can apply to our one life right now, today. If we got something that's going on, if we got something we're praying for, if we got a problem, we got a petition, we have the privilege and the priority of sitting at the feet of Jesus in a spiritual heart posture in prayer and thanksgiving until our change comes. This is Sonia. I hope and pray you have a blessed day in the Lord. And tomorrow, I believe we finish reading. Yes, tomorrow we finish reading the book of Luke and we start reading in the book of John. So tomorrow we read in Luke 20 forward, which I think there's like 8 more chapters or so of Luke, and then beginning in the book of John. Thank you and have a blessed day in the Lord.